Hey, everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live, and we're back for 2025. I'm here with Chandra with Aran and Franklin Engineering. And Chandra, we wrapped up the year, actually spent about half the year of 2024 talking about TWIA and Burl, and then TWIA some more. And we've taken a little break now. And this last week and a half, we were blessed. Not really blessed, but hit with a snowstorm. And you and I were talking, engineering a house for wind is one thing. But you and I were talking yesterday or the day before, and I said, hey, do we engineer for snow? And you said, David, we're on the Texas coast. Let's talk a little bit about that because there's some areas of Louisiana and Texas that had 6, 5 to 8 inches and up to maybe 10 inches in Louisiana, but houses aren't really designed for that, are they?
No, they're really not. I mean, every single house that gets designed is designed for kind of a site-specific criteria. And so we look at the international building codes, and they have maps in there, and it shows, where you have to design for wind design, where you have to design for seismic design, where you have to design for snow loading. So we kind of follow that in order to, determine what design criteria is used for, designing the house. And typical live load on the house is just for people walking around up there,
Shingles and decking.
Yeah. And so obviously nobody's gonna be walking up there on a snowstorm, right? So, I mean, probably those loads kind of counterbalance themselves, but we aren't designed to really hold a lot of excess weight on the roof. We're designing it to pull away. We're not designing it for those gravity loads trying to push it down and collapse it. And one of the things we had talked about was that in a conditioned house, where you've got heat and everything, less likely that you're going to get a large accumulation. It's going to melt in some of those attic areas, maybe a few concentrated areas where insulation's maybe not as good, or the heat's not really getting to it. But places like porches where it's unconditioned,
Right.
places where you have an outside garage that's not heated, or a shed or something like that, or anything that's got a really, really flat roof where it's going to hold that snow, you're looking at, a lot of excess weight that really the building probably isn't designed for. So you really, if we have, you don't think about it, but water is very heavy. I mean, you know what happens when you have, you put water in an ice tray and you stick it in the freezer and it expands, right? So snow is at least for the volume is less dense than water. So I mean, you got 12 inches of snow is not the same as 12 inches of water. So that's a good thing, at least. So really about anywhere from 10 to 12 inches of snow is kind of equal to like 1 inch of water, about 5 pounds per square foot. So not terrible, but once it starts packing down and getting heavier, I mean, that can get a lot more than your roof really can handle.
Or
the other thing,
to it.
Yeah, the other thing we talked about was, when you look at places that have a lot of heavy snow, the roof pitches are a lot steeper. You think of the Swiss chalets where they've got the big A-frame houses. It's because they need that snow to gravity to pull it off of that roof. And so a lot of places that have high snowfall have a steeper roof pitch. I would say 6 and 12 or greater. So a lot of our roofs are 4, 5, 6, and 12. They're not super high pitched, and that's probably a pretty typical as a 5 on 12 or a 6 on 12. And then of course a lot of times we have those monoslope porches that come in that are a lot flatter, so much more likely to hold onto the snow. So yeah, it's just a little bit more load than probably it was designed for, and just something to be conscious of when we start having those things. If we were to have a blizzard condition again in Beaumont, like we would, or we would never have thought in my lifetime I would see blizzard conditions in Beaumont and 7 degrees with snow on the ground and blizzard conditions.
Well, they said that was the first blizzard warning that had ever been issued along I-10 in Louisiana.
Crazy, right? Yesterday they had posted here in the Houston area, uh, like mid Houston, a little bit north, because it was still going to be below freezing at dawn. That there was something called freezing fog. It was like a very severe. It's something we've never had an alert for here either. It's like a fog condition where it kind of is all like somewhere between snow and fog, and it kind of freezes the fog, and it causes whiteout conditions. And again, nothing we've ever dealt with before. They said this is very common in other places like Chicago at the Great Lakes and stuff like that, but not like here. So yeah, just very strange weather conditions we're having here already here in 2025.
I know I was up here Tuesday morning, and when I left the house about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, I didn't put my truck in four-wheel drive because we had just started really to get some sleet, and I wanted to see what it was like. I've driven in snow through work and everything, and so I took my time coming in, and I watched the parking lot because no one was driving in it, and we went about 7 or 7:30, I think, we started really get the snow, and then by 8:30, it was it was snowing, and I've got pictures of my truck and stuff, but it was that's about the time they came out with the blizzard warnings, about 9 o'clock, and I was like, we're not far from that because I can't see the houses real good,
right on
across
the other
the
side.
highway from me.
Yeah.
And then it all cleared up, and I think what saved us down here is Tuesday afternoon, I went home about 1 o'clock, and it was an ugly drive because the snow, we had ice, probably about a half inch of sleet here, I think. And then we had about 2 inches of snow from what I measured and looked at in the parking lot. But the snow's okay if it's on top. But once people drove on it, then it's all ice.
That's right.
And we had some black ice down here because I got a phone call for some people that said, hey, watch it from Margaritaville to the elementary school. There's some places in there, but we got just enough sunlight in the afternoon. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, that when I went to work the next morning, there was tracks, you know, and so you could get to work, and now everything's fine down here. But Beaumont yesterday, someone called me and said, hey, how's the Highland Bridge? I said, man, it's been open since the night before. It's great. Man, I've had to go around 3 bridges in Beaumont. They've got them closed. And so Beaumont was just far enough east and north because that swath sort of went down I-10. And Louisiana, my wife's cousins and stuff over there, it was 7 degrees yesterday morning over there.
I know, 7 degrees. I can't even comprehend that, really.
And we're going to talk about another, the next show, we're actually going to talk about things that could have happened to your house. We've talked about snow loads now.
Right.
And so next week's show, I want to talk about a little bit about what to look for, because snow could actually, or sleet could actually hurt your roof. We've all got pipes, especially down here. We're not on a slab. We're built up off the ground, and that's a whole different ballgame when it comes to cold weather, because we typically build for hot weather, and not cold weather. So, well, at least y'all are back going again in full swing. Is everyone back to work now?
Yes, everyone. We worked, remotely during that time, but we had our office closed because, again, just trying to travel. We can do cold and we can do wet, but we can't do them both together.
Yeah,
we're just not built for that. So we just let everybody work remotely and stay home. You don't realize how many bridges are between your house and the office until you start to try to navigate that. And
that's right.
There's a lot more than you think. There's all these little detention ditches and little bayous and stuff.
Well, we don't have snow plows down here. They're using road graders.
We don't even have ice for the most part, or salt for the most part.
We don't have to worry about it. So, well, we're going to close this one down. Remember, check back next week, because we're going to talk about what to look for in your house when we do have freezing conditions. And if you're going to build a house, you might want to start thinking about where you want to make your roof, or how you want to make your roof, because things are changing in the world. So we're going to head on out. Chandra, thanks for joining us. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye.